Offensively, we return 6 starters from last year, so we got hit pretty good by graduation, certainly losing a couple of key players. But the thing I'm most excited about is all 6 of those returning starters are going to be seniors, and 2 of them are actually fifth-year starters. That had an extra year of eligibility due to injury. So I think while we're going to be young in some respects and replacing maybe 5 starters offensively, the experience and the maturity that we have with those guys who are returning, I think help accelerate us in our offensive development. Starting on the offensive line, we return Josh Barnt as our center. Josh has been a multiple-year starter for us. He's going to be a fifth-year senior due to a medical red shirt. He really anchors us on the offensive line. And Matt Sands returns at right tackle. And Matt started 11 games for us last year. That had an outstanding season, and we're expecting big things from Matt this fall. Guys that we're expecting to step up into starting roles on the O-line. Jake O'Brien at left tackle had, I think, a great spring. Jake's going to be a junior for us. We moved him over from defensive line last year, and he was, learned the system. And I think with the spring that he had and the progress he made in the weight room, I think he's ready to step up. Also, Devin Rose competes at that left tackle spot. Devin is also going to be a junior. He's come a long way, in his time here, and he's, we're looking for him to make an impact as well. At the left guard spot, Shane Katz worked at left guard all spring, and Shane's going to be a fifth-year senior. He had a medical red shirt. It was due to injury. Wasn't able to play a whole lot, but Shane's a big guy. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of maturity, a lot of strength, and a lot of intensity. And then at the right guard spot, Matt DiGiacomo rotated in quite a bit last year. He returns. We expect him to take a starting job, at the right guard position. Also, Tyler Maturo is a guy that we expect to work in at the right guard spot. He's going to be a fifth-year senior. He had a medical red shirt. And Armando Ramos is probably in the mix as a sophomore at the guard position. And the other guy that we expect to get some playing time at center is Matt Betts. And all these guys have worked very hard. They all had great springs, and we're looking for big things from them. At tight end, Eric Wade returns. He's going to be a 3-year starter. He's a returning 2-time all-conference player. Eric, I thought, he just keeps getting better. I mean, the season he had this year was so much better than his sophomore year. This spring was the best spring he's ever had here. I mean, every time I see him play, I'm amazed at how he just keeps getting better on a daily basis. So with his size and his strength and his athleticism, he's really creates some real matchup problems in the pass game and the run game. So really excited about him. TJ Luddy, of course, returns as our starting quarterback. TJ has started, really 4 years for us. Not every game over 4 years, but essentially he's been a 4-year starter for us. Getting a start or 2 as a freshman, and he's really got a lot of game experience now. I was really pleased with the way TJ finished the 2012 season, as we talked about. He really kind of put the team on his shoulders the last 2 ball games, and he was really the catalyst in my mind in coming from behind to beat Lebanon Valley in Game 10, propelling us into the playoffs. And without him, we don't get into, we don't win the ECAC bowl game. I mean, Dan McNair was a game MVP, but the way TJ threw the ball that day was simply amazing. And it was a high-pressure situation. TJ thrived in that situation, and I feel like with his maturity level and his experience, we're certainly expecting a big year from him. Ty Hughes returns at the starting tailback position. Ty's also a fifth-year senior, having a medical red shirt from 2010 or 11, one of those years. But I thought Ty had a solid year last year. He's bigger and stronger and faster now, by continuing to work out, and we're expecting big things from him as well. At the tailback position, you always need to have more than one guy, to carry the ball. And Uriah Brickhouse is going to be a senior this year. He had some playing time last year as a junior. I think he had a great spring as well. And Dwayne Randall, Dwayne's only a sophomore, but boy, he's extremely explosive. So I think between those three guys, we're going to have a pretty wicked combination, at the tailback position. Fullback, we losing a guy last year like Marty Reinhardt is as good of a player as he was. He was All-American as a fullback, which is hard to do, the fullback position for us. But losing a guy like that, it's really tough to replace. But we've got two guys at fullback returning that I think both of them had outstanding springs for us. Josh McLeod is a sophomore. He's going to be a sophomore. And Jay Sean Moore is going to be a junior. And both these guys were neck and neck all spring, and I see those guys rotating in for us at the fullback position. And then at wide receiver, Dan McNair returns as a senior. He's our only returning starter at the wide receiver position. Dan, as you know, is a very explosive player. As I said, he was an ECAC bowl game MVP last year, and he's got the quick strike ability, that we need at the wide receiver position. At the other receiver spots, Dev Clark is going to be a senior. Dev got significant playing time last year. He's got a lot of work for us on special teams, and he rotated on offense. He seems primed to step in as a starting receiver. And also Griffin Eldridge. Griff's also going to be a senior. He got some playing time over the last couple of years. We expect him to be in the mix there. And Mark Kresak as well is going to be a senior. So while the level of experience maybe at the receiver position is not where it was in the past, there's a level of maturity there with four seniors, that are all expected to be battling out and getting playing time.